Alright, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Point, Laugh, and Study. This time, we're going to be looking at Otterly Noah, who is a criminal mastermind, the likes of which we haven't seen since Wile E. Coyote. Now, he seems rather inept, like he wants to do bad things, but is just really bad at it or something. I don't know, he's supposed to be autistic, so maybe he just really doesn't understand people. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's not actually as silly as he seems. But in any case, let's get into this. Yeah, this one, FYI, this one's a little bit more abstract, but it's quite interesting, at least in my mind. Like, I don't know, is not a very huge creator, but he is, again, interesting as an individual. And this is a video by Toastify. Otterly Noah is utterly stupid. Plagiarism, copyright strike. So, that's perhaps another dynamic that's missing, or thing I failed to communicate. I believe Otterly Noah is a person who had a whole series called Griffly Bears, hunting grifters, but he had been plagiarizing, allegedly, some of his material. A lot of his material. Perhaps all of it, I don't know. Yeah. And they had the unmitigated gall to go and brag about his video. I think specifically on one subject, he was bragging about his video being the most viewed, and it was very much a plagiarized video. Like, it took a whole bunch of stuff and didn't present a whole lot of originality either. And he didn't credit people, which I think was part of what ticked people off. Alright. In any case, less of the dribble, and let's get into this.
Hello. In the past couple of years, we've seen people saying slop more and more. It's used to describe
The hoity-toity type.
easy to consume content with its only purpose being sustenance or entertainment.
Or content they think they're above.
Whilst it's easy to attack for its lack of creativity, it does at least serve a purpose. But where it becomes...
I don't know if what I do would be considered slop. I imagine the reaction stuff would probably be in that category, but I don't know. It's fun. Hopefully sometimes a little bit useful, but...
more egregious is if it's not presented with honesty. If you're going to espouse lots of incorrect details or preach morals that you don't really stand by, what...
I'll have to see. I need to stick my picture on the other side. He might be moving around. I don't know if he just... If he puts this thing over there, generally speaking, but well... Alright.
value does your content even have? What makes you different from any other random person who can fake it till they make it? The points you make...
I'm pretty sure all of those were from a creator called More Pegasus, and I would almost consider what he does like slop. It's, it gets samey. Like, I watched it for a while, but it's a little bit samey after a while. Maybe he's trying to diversify more these days, but...
making your videos and how you present them says something about you. Unless, of course, they were never...
it's kind of formulaic. Maybe that would be the way to describe it.
for your points. Otterly Noah is a left-leaning video essayist with around 50,000 subscribers. His most popular videos are all about autism representation in popular films and TV.
Let's look at these. I saw Zachary Levi's awful autism movie, so you don't have to. I don't think I've ever heard something called an autism movie.
You can tell this because his description says #autism. But as of recently, he's made several videos going after political grifters in media criticism, or as he calls them, griffly bears. Noah...
I get it. Grizzly bears. Griftly bears. Because they're grifting.
His widely disliked targets and his coverage of them have gathered him
Death to all punsters.
a core audience of supporters. But what's
No, it's not a call to action.
separated video and persona began to shine through with a myriad of online drama. It ended up questioning whether Noah's content was even his own and not just copied from others. In these last few months, he's proven himself to be manipulative and dishonest. The public window he gives his audience is far from showing...
Again, like, he feels like the type of person who would legitimately do anything he could get away with. The fact that he's inept is the only reason he hasn't done worse stuff. Like, he's not a very, he doesn't seem to be a very moral person. only really ethical. I don't know. I'm assuming it, like, again, like, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but we tend to use ethical and moral synonymously. But I think they're, like, in a litigious sense, there would be a difference in that ethics is something that's externally imposed upon you. Morals is something you hold yourself. Like, in theory, you wouldn't ethically drive over the speed limit because you'll get pulled over. But you want to drive safely because you don't want to hurt people, right? That would be the difference, I would say. And Otterly Noah seems more like the former rather than the latter.
The full scale of his actions, and it begs the obvious question: if he were to look at himself, would he use the label he throws onto others?
Yes, probably. At least he was looking at it in cold, clear day. Yeah. I don't know. If he was looking at it clearly, I think he probably would.
Otterly Noah.
Admittedly, though, like, I think it's hard to see yourself as you really are. To not have blind spots, really, because you get used to a lot of your flaws, I think, and you kind of either, I don't know.
Is a media reviewer by trade, so it was unlikely for him to ever come across my radar had it not been for the way he started his major controversy. In early January 2026, the streamer Tectone,
this is the one I was talking about, where he was crowing about his video being the most watched,
had his court battle come to a close. Now, summarizing his whole situation is...
You know the worst thing about this guy? He tries to act black. I think he is a little bit black, but, you know, he tries to act very ethnic, which is cringe.
For this video, but basically, his ex-girlfriend accused him of abuse. The court agreed, and Tectone had a whole load of restrictions.
Oh, I don't know. He seems like he's gotten into a lot of stuff.
Upon him.
Rather dubious person.
As part of a restraining order. With this huge news coming in, a lot of people wanted to know Tectone's history of controversies and how this all
Sorry. That's just my... Never mind.
Came to be. Noah, seeing an opening, posted a tweet glazing himself on Twitter. The link below was his video, Anti-Woke Religious Gamers Are Unintentionally Hilarious, Hunting Grizzly Bears. But the tweet caught the eye of Shamu.
I feel like, no. You're the one who's unintentionally hilarious. Yeah. Got it. There was some highbrow comedy for you.
A smaller drama creator who had been one of the breakthrough people covering Tectone. And when you put Noah's video side by side with Shamu's uploaded a few months prior, you start to see...
I'm just thinking the length of it is markedly similar.
Some very similar passages. Both videos follow the same sort of timeline in the story and talk about the same kind of points. Now this can
But he has that Otterly Noah avatar, which makes it better.
Be chalked down to just similar coverage. After all,
everything's better with cute animals involved. Cute animated creatures. That's the Disney way.
When two people cover the same story, they're poised to overlap with each other somewhere. But in some parts, Noah's video is just him talking over Shamu's video. In some cases, he directly takes edits from the video with no credit whatsoever. Nikandra...
Yeah, I know.
In some cases, he directly takes edits from the video with no credit whatsoever. Nikandros, another smaller drama creator, chimed in and made an entire compilation showing examples of Noah's copying. This shows pretty clearly that whilst this isn't plagiarism in the traditional definition of copying words, it does show that Noah used the edits, made the same kind of points.
So he didn't use the same words per se, but he did take the entire video kind of, or the I guess the... kind of not the laugh track. He took the actual visual part of the video and just overlaid his own stuff on it, I guess. And
followed the same timeline. This isn't just purely coincidental. Some of these edits are harder.
Well, maybe he just took the clips out of it or something.
To spot than others. For example, in this clip, Noah changes it by zooming in, but leaves a little trace of Shamu's text. In another example,
Sorry, I didn't see it, but... honestly, I wouldn't say he's above it.
Noah would seemingly go out of his way to remove credit to people Shamu had credited. In this clip, Shamu credits the original creator Plazukas, but Noah's version tries its best to zoom away from him or crop out the credit. When Shamu noticed this, he sent Noah a DM simply asking for credit. Noah didn't respond, but did reply to one of his tweets taking credit for, quote, pushing more of your...
I'm assuming you saw my video. pushing more of your information on Tectone to a bigger audience. LMAO. It was very fun ripping into Templar in that video also. I've known about this guy for a while. It's a thing. Again, I don't know if this guy is just stupid or if he doesn't understand the way people work. Maybe he just thinks other people are stupid. Which might have it might have kind of functionally the same effect in certain situations.
Information on Tectone to a bigger audience. Shamu hadn't wanted to make a big deal out of this, but after seeing Noah proudly display this video, he posted a tweet calling him out. Deal out of this, but after.
For those wondering, given everything that he seems to be getting out, given everything that he seems to be getting held accountable for, at least I do have the highest viewed expose on Tectone detailing everything that has more or less led to this point. I published this back in November.
Seeing Noah proudly display this video, he posted a tweet calling him out. Noah then pumped the brakes and said that he never saw a DM and he wasn't trying to come off like he.
Okay, now hold on a minute. I never saw a DM from you. I don't check my Twitter DMs much, and I certainly was not trying to come off like a plagiarized you by any means. The story deserved to get more people. I have DM'd you. The timing seems rather suspicious. My video pushing out your video to more people or something? I don't know.
Plagiarized him. Shamu doubted this and reiterated that he had no right.
You left me a comment days after I DM'd you. It's only time you have ever engaged with my account. Even if you're not lying, I personally doubt it. You have no right to rip straight from my video without credit.
To rip his video without any sort of credit. Noah responded.
It's kind of a little bit strange. I guess I don't know. Like the whole notion of like how much goes into these edits or whatever. Because the notion of taking clips from someone who probably took the clips from others is slightly strange. I guess like if you're taking the entire thing and it's like it's assembled together in a convenient format, maybe that's a little bit kind of sucks, but I don't know.
Saying that just because he screen recorded
it's getting kind of meta a little bit.
And ripped Shamu's video, it wasn't his intention to plagiarize.
Sorry. It was certainly not my intention. My platform is bigger than yours, so I wanted more people to know about Tectone in particular, but specifically as Christian Grift, which you did not discuss in your original video from what I can see. That's also why I discussed Tactical Templar and Andy Pants Gaming. I do credit people in my sources cited in my... it seems odd since in certain scenarios it seems like maybe the zooming was completely incidental. It seems like he zoomed in on certain parts of the screen to avoid giving credit to people, as well as any books, news sites I'm citing. On my end, it shows a white arrow when a message has been read, so I'm not sure what's going on your end. And like I said in my DM, if there's a specific way you'd like to be credited in the video itself instead of the description, hit me up. I am more than happy to change, assuming there's civility. To oblige, assuming there's civility. See, that's a little bit telling, isn't it? Assuming there's civility. In theory, I tend to think that if a thing's good to do, on principle, then it's something you should do anyways. Whether or not the person you're dealing with is someone you like or think is worthy of morality, you should do the moral thing regardless, right? But this is of a piece with some other stuff he was talking about with regards to the people he was covering, because he justifies certain types of behavior, it seems like, when he doesn't like the people involved or thinks they're bad people. It's a little bit duplicitous or something like that.
He just wanted to use his bigger platform to let people know about Tectone.
So I was actually going to say this too. I guess maybe I'm misreading this. I thought Otterly was relatively small, but maybe he is bigger. I'm not for sure.
This is very much using the ends to justify the means, over, again, a pretty simple issue that could have been credited by just showing his clips with his name on them. You can spread the message or whatever without copying someone's video and presenting it as if it's your own. Noah then claims message or whatever without copying someone's video and presenting it as if it's your own. Noah
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
A pretty simple issue that could have been credited by just showing his clips with his name on them. You can spread the message or whatever without copying someone's video and presenting it as if it's your own. Noah
Yeah, that's true, honestly. Like, it just feels like he went out of his way. So the notion that it was just incidental and accidental, I guess, it seems...
then claims that he credited Shamu, and that he credits tons of people in the description, whether it be from books, news sites, or videos. However, Shamu quickly points out that this credit was added just now, whilst they were speaking. Noah then backtracks and says that he never specifically said that he didn't add it now. However,
I did not say I didn't, unlike what Nick is saying here. I DM'd you asking if there were a specific way you would want to be cited. You did not respond, so I did that. If there are a different way you would prefer to be cited, I'm all ears.
The way it's worded seems to signify otherwise. If he explained...
He is credited in the description, as are you, for the Shadman stuff. If you'd prefer to be shown on screen and credited there, that's completely fine. Just let me know, and I'm more than happy to on-screen to do put an on-screen blurb instead. I assume this was what you meant by not citing, since you're looking in the description, not on screen. Since you're in the description, not on screen. See, this is what he's saying. I'm assuming that's what you meant by not citing, since you're in your, like, when he was saying you're not citing me, well, you're in the description. You were already in the description. You meant that you weren't on screen. He's, like, Toastifies right here. I very much seems like he's acting like the citation was there all along. That he did cite them in the description, but the problem was that or that whoever else was involved here, Shamu or whoever, was cited in the description all along, but that that Shamu was pissed off because he wasn't cited on screen. Am I getting that right? That seems right. Like, that's how you would read this.
The situation to someone else.
Again, I don't know if he just literally doesn't, like, he's kind of asocial or something and just literally doesn't understand this, or if it feels like it's too much for that. Like he's deliberately trying to be obtuse or misleading.
Vague framing could obscure his actions and confuse people into thinking it's way less worse than it actually is. After this...
Less bad. Not less worse.
Noah then started to go on the
less worse would be better.
Offensive against both Nicandros and Shamu. He also tried to argue that this wasn't actually plagiarism at all by definition, and that Nicandros and Shamu were just whiny
Shamu wanted to be the next gilded... What the Harry is... Gilded poo? Do it in some... I told you so, wasn't even... LMAO, exactly. LMAO. He waited until the video had over 1k views, and Nicandros too. Isn't his avatar Stolen Sands fan art? Originally it was, but it ended up changing it by adding a red X from quarter 03 Titans mask and the color of the jacket. Ah! It's exactly the same thing. The difference being that at least Gilded Poo was ahead of this. These videos diving into religion and history are plagiarizing our tiny commentary channels. Wah!
Petty losers, jealous of the great Noah.
It's utterly repentant.
Noah's success. A good reminder that this started because Noah posted to Twitter, stroking his ego by saying that he's got the biggest video about this whole situation. This attitude just seems very strange. It's especially opposed to how he said he respected both of them quite a bit as commentary creators back in...
Yeah. Doesn't seem like
the
it.
DMs. And again, as for the claim that this isn't plagiarism, it may not fit the standard definition of copying someone's work verbatim word for word, but when you depend on the same edits, use the same talking points, follow a similar story, it gets a lot more suspect. This is pretty different from just using screenshots. You're cutting as much credit out of them as possible, and then using that for your video. This isn't background footage. It's something that a casual viewer would assume was your work gathering these clips together. In his stream chat, Noah would
Yeah. What was I thinking about? It's gone. Never mind.
later gloat about how he was gonna roast Shamu and Nicandros, immediately labeling them as seething conservatives.
Oh, that's what I said. Like, he was talking about, like, taking another person's edits, I guess. It does feel like that is a little bit dishonest. Like, the notion of, like, people maybe assume you do some of the work for your videos. So this type of, like, especially if he would, talk about this and brag about it to other people. But his video, like, okay. It's a little bit untoward, given that you're taking a lot of other people were doing the work for these clips or whatever.
This is despite the fact conservatism never had anything to do with this discussion. What exactly is the chud-coded behavior here? Holding someone to account for not giving credit? Correct me
Yes. Chud's own accountability.
if I'm wrong, but the last time plagiarism was significantly discussed online was a huge left-leaning creator raking these people over the coals for 2 hours straight. Come on, man. Do you just want to label them as conservatives because it'd be easier to write them off? Also, there's this tweet which
I imagine. It's nice to have people you can easily disregard their opinions of. It's nice to find a way to do that in any case.
just want to highlight. I checked it, and by definition, no.
Sorry. Noah isn't plagiarizing. Sure ain't. Nick and Shamu can whine all they want, but my videos they're complaining about are fair use and don't plagiarizing them. I don't plagiarize them. If they want to copyright strike me for these videos, though, feel free. Will be very telling and very petty, which they already are. Yeah! You go, Queen.
Noah isn't plagiarism. Sure ain't. Nick and Shamu can whine all they want, but my videos they're complaining about are fair use, and don't plagiarize them. If they want to copyright strike me for these videos, though, feel free. We'll be very telling and very petty, which they already are. Hey,
Yeah. Just tuck away that whole petty thing for later.
Toastify, why'd you bring up this tweet specifically? Listen, no reason. Just don't worry about it, you know? Not long after promoting a stream he was
Yeah, that's what you call foreshadowing.
hopping onto, Otterly Noah was doxxed on Twitter, aka they found his full name because he credited himself with his full name alongside Otterly Noah on YouTube. Surely you gotta do some OPSEC or something, man, come on. Noah immediately jumped to blame Shamu and Nicandros for this doxing. His proof? Well, an account responded to him saying, Shamju wants us to dox and harass you, and that sounds more fun than listening to your
There's so much weird shit going on, like Shamju. So, he doesn't like Shamu, I assume, from that. But he also doesn't seem like Otterly Noah's type. Because Otterly Noah, for all of his flaws, I say for all of his flaws, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he does seem very, very woke. He doesn't seem like the type of person who would associate with someone calling someone Shamju.
stream. How this is evidence is kinda beyond me. Not just because it's some random guy saying this with nothing to prove it, but also because he calls me Shamju. Not gonna lie, guys. I don't think
So, Otterly Noah was saying that the Shamju guy was saying that because he was on Shamu's side? That seems counterintuitive.
Otterly Noah is very smart. Probably because when they posted his name, he then retweeted it and posted it to
Wow, what a surprise. Just wait till my address gets posted too.
his audience, making everyone aware that yes, that is his docs. Shamu would obviously respond to this, stating that Noah was defaming him to cover up his plagiarism.
Sorry.
Shamu would obviously
Otterly Noah's engaged in defamation campaign, claiming I doxed him with zero evidence. This is to cover up and plagiarize from me and multiple other creators. His evidence is one random commenter. By contrast, 3 credible creators accuse him, and he's admitted fault privately. Same thing, I think. I like privily. It's a fun word.
Respond to this, stating
Yeah.
that Noah was defaming him to cover up his plagiarism. With everything going on, there were
Like, it feels like Otterly Noah just in general kind of wants to be different things to different people. Because, like, I've heard that too, where he would admit stuff in private, and then you put him in front of people, and it's just... It's like pulling out nails to try and get him to admit to anything in that scenario.
a lot of questions remaining unanswered, and we would get some of those answers within 24 hours, when Noah was challenged on his work by a number of creators. The resulting stream panel included people like Dickers, The British Runner, Emrao, Shamu, and Nicandros.
Emrao? What the...
All drama channels who had recently been critical of Noah
I kind of like this one. Wargaming Dad. It's a good one.
in some way. Noah also brought along a small streamer named Wargaming Dad, who he had recently streamed with trying to dispel the plagiarism allegations.
Let's say someone made a video on the J.K. Rowling autism coded thing that you just did. They used clips from your video, even though you don't own the clips of J.K. Rowling or whatever clips you use there. They just cut your video up, put it in theirs, and then narrated over it, right? They took your editing, the hours of work that you did.
Okay, that is kind of the glitch here. Okay, so you're taking clips from another channel who doesn't really own those clips, but they did research, obviously, to assemble those clips into a cohesive type of idea. So if you're just taking their video and overlaying your own commentary, that seems a little bit skeevy, but again, I don't know exactly where it would come down on that.
They're now just stealing, putting in their own video.
Like, if there's no originality involved, especially, it feels like it would be not great.
And portraying it as theirs, right? If you just came across that naturally, you'd probably be a bit annoyed. Could you maybe tell it, or would you be?
And at first, it feels like this issue with Shamu is probably one of the least gratuitous things Otterly Noah has actually done. There are other scenarios in which he is like, feels like he's taken like a 1-for-1 on other people's videos, basically.
Be annoyed, and if so, why would you be annoyed? I guess
That would be pretty upsetting, because the reason I did that video is because nobody has talked about that before, you know, like the autism J.K. Rowling
I understand. Thing. Why would that upset you?
Because well, you know, it's an idea that I came up with. You know?
And I'm now going to feel forever self-conscious about touching my beard or anything like that.
You know, the autism J.K. Rowling stuff. Yeah, because
it does feel like kind of a self-soothing thing he's doing. In this scenario, I suppose he would be in the hot seat. So.
I don't like. That's also why
it wouldn't necessarily mean he's lying, but it's more everything else that would tell me he's being probably somewhat dishonest. Just generally, I don't have a high opinion of his moral fiber.
I guess that's also why I'm struggling to figure out why Shamu thinks like does he think coverage of Tectone is plagiarism, or I'm just
Shamu's ready to hop in, by the way.
The thing is, Noah can't seem to understand that it's not really about the idea. There is nothing new under the sun, and just because people cover the same idea doesn't inherently mean it's plagiarism. The difference is in the detail, how the opinions and timeline are presented. In this case, Noah has done none of his presentations. He is the cheap Chinese knockoff. The segment's purpose isn't a new idea, it's clearly just repackaging it for a different audience. Even if
Noah's trying to use his best to avoid both Shamu's edits and creating Plazukas. And crediting Plazukas, who I assume was the original dude? It seems like some sort of, like, zoom in, and this, apparently this is not the, I assume this is not the only scenario? I don't know.
If you then did that, the sheer audacity to then brag about it like it's a lighthouse of information in the stormy waters of Tectone drama, saying your video's the highest views and everyone's jealous.
It does feel like that is kind of that is the icing on the cake, a little bit. The fact that he was so overzealous and just, mine is the best of the best. Like,
that just adds to how stupid it is.
He said specifically here, Shamju, so I'm assuming that's Shamu, wants us to dox and harass you. And frankly, that sounds like more fun than listening to your stream. So, like, and then, you know, I go in.
Why would you believe what he said?
Because I thought this guy was actually working with Shamu.
After he's called him Shamju.
Yeah. Maybe it's just good-natured ribbing or something.
Now, you may be sitting there thinking, So what? One video, is that all it takes for this guy to be labeled as a plagiarist? And don't worry, because you're in luck. A couple of videos released by Ryle Kittenhouse showed far more examples of Noah
Like Kyle Rittenhouse. Nice.
copying other creators.
I don't know why I like that, but I hated the other one before. Does that qualify as a pun? Kind of. It's more spoonerization, but still, it's kind of in that same category. But I can like a pun if they're clever, I think, but most of them I find cringe.
In his work, and this is far from some of the interpretive perspective beforehand. This is copying homework and changing it up a bit.
Vasquez starts the shot as an amorphous blob before the AI starts to put a mouth on her cheek.
In this shot here with Vasquez, it tries to read her face at first as an amorphous blob.
Amorphous, not something a lot of people, well, I guess maybe a lot of people know the word, but it feels like it is somewhat unique.
Because it doesn't recognize her face is a face.
In the same Otterly Noah video, they steal more from Norel, taking the graphics and a snippet of the script.
And Tom Arnold, a spectacle to behold in his prime, looks to be in the early stages of Emperor Palpatineism.
This shot here makes Tom Arnold look like he's turning into an amalgamation of Emperor Palpatine and
The plot thickens.
Donald Trump.
Doing a retrospective is one thing, but in this
But there is no war in Bossing Santa.
video, both Noah and Vincent Pavarel are responding to the same video, and Noah is coincidentally making the same sort of point.
Sorry, look here. Otterly Noah. Debunking Jester Bell's abysmal anti-woke take. Worst movie take ever. That's pretty much the same thumbnail, too. Well, I can take it back. It's using the same thing here. Save me. He just took and put it at an angle. Added these guys. So it's like he took the other person's thing and put it inside it. No, this is literally like, this is the same. He took this guy's thumbnail, I assume, and put it inside of his, because this is the same stuff, right?
Using the same footage and saying the same descriptors.
This year kicked off with Captain America: Brave New World.
No, this year kicked off with Companion, Better Man, and Dog Man.
This year kicked off with Captain America: Brave New World.
No, this year did not start off with Captain America: Brave New World. This year started off with Companion, Better Man, and Dog Man in January of...
Didn't watch any of those. Thought Better Man looked kind of cool, but...
2025.
And I'm even skipping on a couple. One of them, Better Man, was a massive box office disaster. But let's not use box office as a metric to determine a film's quality for a moment.
Better Man was actually a pretty decent and unique music biopic about the British singer Robbie Williams that unfortunately ended
Don't know who that is.
up being a big flop for Paramount. But let's take a step back and not use box office to determine whether a film is actually good or not, Jester Bell.
Having a unique
Jester Bell. You know, saying this is not like plagiarism is like the notion of this being somehow random. It's like saying if you slapped someone and stole their girl and burnt down their house, and they're like, oh, and it took their car or whatever. Yeah, it's just random. Sorry, it's just random. Yeah, I think you're straining the edges of what could happen coincidentally. Now, this seems like very much a singular entity acting with singular purpose, not some sort of celestial coincidence.
energy to it, incredible dance
That's my humble opinion.
sequences,
Some absolutely gorgeous dance sequences all throughout.
I thought it would be a good time to just express what I've been feeling.
I don't know how I feel about musicals. I think I can like a good musical, but I don't know if I would like the modern stuff. Like, I appreciate the older the older style stuff. Sound of Music's pretty good. Edelweiss is really nice. Song's still awesome.
This year, reviewing movies.
You mean reviewing only massive blockbuster IP-driven movies and not really movies in general, but okay.
To just express what I've been feeling this year, reviewing movies.
Ah, yes, and by reviewing movies, you mean only major American mainstream blockbuster films.
Sinners and Weapons, there were
Okay, so please.
a couple things in it that I thought I don't want to see that in the theater.
What couple of things do you feel like you don't want to see in Sinner specifically? You want to at least
Black people.
elaborate a bit on
She's talking about black people.
that?
Also, what exactly in Sinners made you not want to see it in particular? You mind elaborating on that?
Just so
The color of their skin enrages her.
So much more sludge.
That sludge is Disney and IP movies, Chester Bell, which is not the entirety of Hollywood or movies all across the world.
Just so much more sludge.
That sludge you're referring to is just simply Disney and IP movies. That's not the entirety of Hollywood.
Why not hope for movies that do better at the box office to be good movies too?
Why not hope for movies that are successful at the box?
Alright, we might skip ahead here a little bit. I'm going to see where it gets to. More examples. The Strike. Oh, confesses. I think I'm going to get to jump in here, maybe.
Noah is no stranger to online conflict. Obviously, his videos accusing and calling out other people for being grifters would clash with those being accused. And a month before his Tectone video, Otterly Noah released Critical Drinker's review of Predator Badlands is...
You know, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I like Critical Drinker's voice in real life. I hate his voice on the Critical Drinker videos. I don't know why. Is he actually supposed to be drunk on those videos? Or is he trying to sound drunk? Like, I've watched live streams of him. I've watched interviews with him. He's not bad. Like, I like his normal voice. I hate his voice on his videos somehow.
Hot garbage, hunting grizzly bears. Critical Drinker, for those who don't know, is a pretty popular media reviewer on YouTube who's generalized into the whole
The message. Sorry.
anti-woke crowd.
No, I can't do the accent. The message. I don't know.
Now, I'm not going to dive into the gritty
What is his accent? I'm assuming it's like, I don't know.
details of me.
It feels like something lower class, though.
Video reviewing, honestly speaking, not my area of expertise. However, I do know that this video gathered the attention of EFAP, a media review podcast with an assortment of personalities, some of whom were friends with Critical Drinker. They criticized Noah's video on their podcast, starting a period of animosity between the two. However, Noah's response to
Interesting.
seeing EFAP cover his video was to immediately
I've
pop
watched
up.
these guys before. Muller's pretty good. No, they're all pretty good. It's kind of a nice start. FYI, EFAP doesn't mean something rude, I don't think. Maybe it was intended to be some sort of pun or sly reference to, but I think it's every frame a pause. That's what it stands for.
Out his chest. Lamau, they know I'm a threat. Yeah, they don't have much else going for them except trying to...
Everyone's afraid of little animated whatchamathingies. Otters? Rodents? The most terrifying of all.
defend Drinker and hope that will earn them some of his viewers, I imagine. Otherwise...
You know, I'm trying to think of... I'm thinking I wouldn't like chickens necessarily. Well, I think I could get over chickens, but I know when I was a kid, we had chickens, and one of them had kind of attacked me. I think it was a rooster or something. I was supposed to go in and collect eggs. Mom was trying to kind of coddle me along and get me to do that. And yeah, there was a mean rooster, and I didn't like it. So I don't know if I would really like chickens. I don't think I'd be like mortally afraid of them, but
they're pretty much done for. Are they just a podcast of grifters? Essentially.
Yeah.
EFAP's coverage plus the plagiarism controversy had...
FYI, they liked a scene of Star Wars where a lady was... It said that there's a series called Andor. This is one point of strong disagreement between me and the people of EFAP. I've never talked about this. It's not like we know each other, okay? I'm not saying that. But I do disagree with him on this one point where there was a part of Star Wars where they have a woman be sexually assaulted by someone of the Empire. And to me, it's just like, if you're trying to create like a vibe for a universe, like, I would no more expect Colonel Klink to start throwing out the N-word or Sergeant Schultz to start gassing Jews than I would expect this in the world of Star Wars, right? I like, and if you're going to go that far, I mean, I don't know. It feels like Darth Vader literally gave his soul to the devil. But I would not expect to see that type of behavior from him. Like, I know what would happen when people give themselves over to bad stuff. It wouldn't be relegated to just killing people. There would probably be other stuff involved. Again, like, what type of world are you going for? What type of universe are you going for? And I don't like the notion of them including lechery or sexual stuff. Like, the notion of the dark side had to do mostly with violence and anger and fear, right? Like, yes, there would probably be other stuff involved. I mean, again, you have a sect of religious fanatics that are basically giving themselves to the devil. Like, what do you think would happen logically in real life? I think we mostly know what would happen. I don't want to know what would happen. I don't want to see a logical rendition of this. I don't want to see Darth Vader doing lecherous or terrible things. Like, and to be fair, like, I feel like maybe that bridge was already crossed with regards to some of the extended universe stuff. I tend to like the notion of the original trilogy being like the canonical stuff, right? You have corny space opera, corny space villains, corny space heroes. It's just that's what it is for me. And that is kind of the idea of Star Wars in my mind. So the notion of, like, taking and bringing it down to earth and getting a real gritty, real life look at what the Empire would like. No, it doesn't need to be down to earth. You don't need to ground it. Just don't. Again, this is, I think, something that I would probably disagree with Mahler and some of those guys on. But otherwise, we tend to, I tend to appreciate their ideas in any case. Anyways, enough. That was a really long tangent. Let's get back to the video.
It attracted some unwanted attention to Noah. He got into fights with a fairly small channel named KinoFlex, who you're gonna see pop up more frequently. And more importantly, on
I flex off. What the hell was that?
April 12th of this year, a small YouTuber named P.L.S. released a hypercritical 2-hour video pouring over Noah's content. Again, it goes
Remember that thing about being petty?
over a lot of his different takes on TV, films, and games, but it also includes a section dedicated to Noah's plagiarism. Noah even made a response to the video himself via stream. Yet only a day or so after its original upload, Callisto's video disappeared from his channel. A few days later, it came back up, but with a new thumbnail. White background, black text spelling out temporary thumbnail. What happened? Well, Callisto's original video had been hit with a copyright strike. Originally, the source of the strike was puzzling. It turns out an artist for Otterly Noah named Deus Marionette had been
Content used PNG of Otterly Noah found in custom thumbnail remover issued by Deus Marionette.
The one to issue it, and the strike was specifically for using the art that Deus had made of Noah's character. When other YouTubers, like a certain Nick Diorio, picked the story
New Yorker. Get him out of here.
up, Noah responded with a tweet from KinoFlex clarifying
You can't trust those city slickers.
that a separate person had striked this and they were resolving it. When Nick asked whether this was Noah's artist, Noah didn't respond. At the time, Nick was on EFAP, who were live partly covering Callisto's video, and they were all aware of the recent developments.
That was like rather serendipitous, because I remember watching that one and they were like, apparently there was some sort of strike on Callisto or something like that on Callisto's video. Like they were, I think they were actually covering. No, I don't know if they were covering Callisto's video. I think they were covering an older stream maybe they had made on Otterly Noah. I'm not for sure.
Suspicion predictably surrounded Noah and his involvement. For example, in his stream response, why did he download Callisto's video to react to? In doing so, he automatically removes the ability to check the transcript or scrub through the video accurately. The only reason for downloading would be if he knew it was going down. But perhaps that was just part of it.
It does seem strange. Like, I don't think I've ever downloaded a video to watch, per se, so
His video process. Nicandros also noted that Noah was claiming the two had now squashed the beef and were working together. This just wasn't true. Nicandros.
Alright. I'd already been approached by Noah asking questions, asking to quash the beef, but if he wants that to happen, he needs to actually be honest about what he did and not let his friends lie about what happened. Some messaged me on Discord saying that he's now claiming that I'm working with him on something when all I did was recommend him to download Obsidian if he wants to start doing original research. Yeah. It does feel like he fancies himself like a criminal mastermind of sorts, so he kind of, I don't know, it feels like he's kind of he gets other people sometimes to do, I don't know. Nah, forget all that.
Had rejected Noah's offer, but recommended him resources for original research. At the time of the EFAP stream, Noah...
Hold on, what's that? I don't know. Otterly Noah incorrectly references work, and that counts as plagiarism. However, I also privately educated him on what to do, so I hope moving forward he doesn't do it again. I think most people would say incorrectly referencing, especially if you're open and honest about it once you realize what you're doing. Like, I don't know if people would say that's plagiarism per se.
But recommended him...
I think this guy is Anthony Gramuglia, who's kind of heavily involved, if only as a enabler of sorts, or yeah, I don't know, just an overindulgent friend, perhaps.
Resources for original research. At the time of the EFAP stream, Noah would also post to his community...
A sweeper. He's a sweeper.
...tab, clarifying what happened. I'm well aware of the EFAP stream covering Callisto's response to me, but I want to make it clear that the response doesn't change what I've said about ending the beef with both Callisto and Kinoflex. He was sent a copyright claim from someone I know, but I was not responsible for it.
Asterisk.
I'm working to get it resolved to show that I'm not going back on my word, and I'm looking forward to the next stream to finally put all this drama behind us. The morning after,
it feels like he's kind of playing, like, if that was truly his intention, at best he's playing both sides of the table. At worst, I don't think that was his intention. I guess I don't know.
Kinoflex revealed the strike was now in the process of being lifted. When Dickers publicly pressed on how convenient this had all been, Kinoflex sent him a clip to prove the artist was acting on her own. In this clip, Noah, his co-host Simon, and the artist Deus are in a call. This 30-second clip shows the artist being pretty protective of her own work.
Well, look, I don't post on YouTube. I have nothing to do with that community, so to know that people are using my work to promote their stuff is kind of...
Like, that feels like work to promote their stuff. Like, it feels like it's maybe an over assumption on her part of the fact that people would associate her with this art rather than Otterly Noah. Like, if you put a PNG of Otterly Noah on your video in the thumbnail, it's like, okay, so are people going to, like, look at that and be like, hey, hold on a second, that's Deus Ex Marionette stuff, right? I think there's a game called Deus Ex Machina or something that I might have had some sort of slip there. No, people aren't going to look at that PNG and be like, yeah, that's Marionette's work. I mean, she supports it. Like, it feels like that's why and how. Again, she said it herself. She's not online. Like people wouldn't know if you didn't say it. I think there's no way in the world that they would associate you necessarily with this piece of work and this piece of work with whoever's. I don't think they would take that as an endorsement just because this person who's clearly critiquing Otterly Noah is using your work in their thumbnail. Like, it feels like a very much of a stretch. So maybe a negative point on her part for this.
Talking to me, because I post no videos. I don't know who any of these people are. So for me,
none of these people know who you are either.
It's a no-go. So for you to tell me that someone using my work that I have no idea who they are, never seen these videos, never consented to their opinions, it's like I'm promoting their work.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone would assume that. Again, it's a video critiquing Otterly Noah. Like, would people assume that the person who's doing that is somehow, like, that you're endorsing their opinions about the person you gave the PNG to? That feels very, like, it, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, I get what you're saying. So, like I said, I'm sorry, honestly, if I actually, said something that might have actually been off of there, so.
Well, me and him have resolved it. He's removed it. I've removed the claim because he's taken the art off. And yeah, I don't know why anyone else is getting involved in this.
Yet this didn't really convince Dickers or anyone else for that regard. Tons of people had used this exact piece of art when they were covering Noah's plagiarism scandal. The only person who...
Yeah. It feels a bit asymmetrical.
who had ever been taken down was Callisto. Dickers, Nick Diorio, and a variety of other people were then blocked for questioning Noah's culpability. And
And there might be something with it having to do with the size of the creators involved. Just saying that could be a factor.
the reason is because they were right. Behind the scenes, Noah orchestrated the strike against Callisto, and manipulated friends and critics alike into his whim.
Like a clever criminal mastermind.
This community post where he said he wasn't responsible was a lie.
Extra clever, please.
All of it. To understand the complete scale of Noah's deception, we need to first take a look at the DMs between everyone he talked to. There were 4 key figures here: Callisto, Kinoflex, Wargaming Dad, and Deus, the artist. All these conversations were happening at around the same time.
I kind of like that better than the I don't know, whatever wigglery he had going on earlier. So it's a pretty cool piece of art.
But we'll start in chronological order with Deus Marionette. Hey Deus, I wanted to give you a heads up, but apparently an anti-woke channel is using your art in their
See, I think this is probably where we're gonna end it a little bit, but this is very telling.
thumbnail in a video attacking me specifically, but also attacking black people. OMG, what is wrong with people? You might want to file a copyright takedown so your art doesn't get accidentally associated with them. I know.
Yeah, see that? He says, I didn't tell her to do it. Let's see if we can diagram this a little bit. But you didn't tell her to do it, but effectively you're saying, okay, your art is in a video that's critical of me, but it's also critical of black people. So, you could alternatively have your art and consequently yourself associated with racism, or, you maybe, not telling you what to do, but maybe you should, just take it down or something. Tee-hee. Like, what? No, you absolutely are responsible for this. How could you not see that? How could you not see that?
Right, it's ridiculous. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. What's the channel? It's named Callisto, I think. I see it. I can also walk you through the steps for setting up a copyright
Yeah. But I'm not telling what you do.
takedown if you want.
I'm not telling you what to do. Just, you can either be a racist or you could have it take down.
And Camelot apparently has had a similar situation before, so she let me know how she did it. Yeah, that first one.
All right. That's it. That's Otterly Noah. Toastify's video, Otterly Noah's Utterly Stupid Plagiarism Copyright Strike. You can go check out the rest of this if you like. It's, again, kind of stupid drama, but also very intriguing. All right, thanks for watching, and you have a lovely day.